Hello everyone. In today's class, we will be learning about part 2 of motion. In this video, we will learn the contents are speed, uniform motion, non-uniform motion. What is speed? What comes to your mind when you hear the word speed? We usually think of bike speed, right? Some objects move faster or slower, but which determines speed? Speed is defined as rate at which an object travels. Speed is a scalar quantity because it determines only the magnitude. For example, car, bicycle. Which one travels faster? Car or bicycle? Car. Car travels. How it travels is because of speed. Bicycle travels slower. So this is determined by speed. Speed can be determined or defined as distance travelled in unit time. SI unit of speed is meter per second or kilometer per hour. Let us solve few problems based on speed. Let's solve few problems so that we can understand better speed. Speed is equal to distance travelled by time taken. For example, a car covers a distance of 100 meters in 5 seconds. What is its speed? The formula is speed is equal to distance travelled by time taken. Distance is given as 100 meters, time 5 seconds. So when we substitute these values in distance by time, distance is 100 divided by time taken is 5. 5 ones, 5 2s are 10, 0. So 20 meter per second. Why? Because 100 meters and time is given in seconds. So the SI unit becomes meter per second. So the speed is equal to 20 meter per second. Second problem, a boy walks at a speed of 4 km per hour. How much time does he take to walk a distance of 20 kilometers? So the speed is given as 4 km per hour, distance 20 kilometers. So the time taken is speed is equal to distance divided by time. Now already speed is given, so we have to find out time. So we interchange this. Time is equal to distance by speed. Distance is 20 kilometer divided by speed is 4 km per hour. So 4 ones are 4, 5s are 20. So kilometer gets cancelled. So time taken by the boy is 5 hours. So the third problem is a man walks with a speed of 5 km per hour in 4 hours. What is the distance covered? In the previous two problems, we found out the time and speed. In this problem, we will find out the distance covered. So the formula is speed is equal to distance divided by time. Correct? So now the distance travelled is speed into time. So we multiply here. The speed is 5 km per hour into time taken is 4 hours. So distance travelled is 5 4s are. So 20 km. Here R and R gets cancelled. So it becomes 20 kilometers. To remember this formula in a very easy way, we take a triangle and we draw T here. So here I take it as distance, speed and time. So when we have to calculate distance, it is speed into time. When I want to calculate time, it is distance divided by speed. Now if I want to calculate speed, what is the formula? D by T, distance divided by time. So this will give you an easy picture to remember this formula. Next we will move on to studying what is uniform motion. Uniform motion, from the word uniform, means it is same. So uniform motion, when an object is moving along a straight line, if it covers equal distances in equal intervals of time, it is said to be uniform motion. With an example, we will understand it more clearly. Moving train, it moves from 10 kilometers to 20 kilometers along the tracks. It covers 10 kilometers in 5 minutes. In the next instance, it covers again 10 kilometers from 20 kilometers to 30 kilometers. It takes again 5 minutes. Similarly, again from 30 kilometers to 40 kilometers, it covers 10 kilometers in another 5 minutes. So at every seconds or in every instances, it takes 5 minutes to cover a distance of 10 kilometers. So such type of motion is called as uniform motion, wherein it covers equal distances in equal intervals of time. So such type of motion is called as uniform motion. In real-time examples, motion of a clock. So when we see in a clock, the motion is same, means equal distances is covering in equal time intervals. Similarly, motion of the earth around the sun. So earth is revolving around the sun it takes the time 365 days. So this is uniform in motion. So motions which takes equal distances in equal intervals of time, such type of motions are called as uniform motion. Next, what are non-uniform motion? Non-uniform motion means it is different, correct? Uniform it's same, but non-uniform it is in different way. So if the object covers different distances in different time frames, we say such motion to be a non-uniform motion. When we take an example of a moving car, so car moves from 10 kilometers to 35 kilometers. It covers a distance of 25 kilometers and it takes 25 minutes to cover. And again from 35 kilometers to 40 kilometers, it takes 15 minutes to cover distance of 5 kilometers. The distance is same, but the distances and time frames are different. The time interval taken is different and distance covered also is different. So such type of motion is called as non-uniform motion. When these type of motions are there, it is difficult to calculate the speed, but wherein uniform motion we can calculate the speed with distance divided by time. Here we say something called as average speed. Average speed means we take total distance covered or distance travelled divided by total time taken. So average speed is something that total distance is covered divided by total time taken. Here the total distance is 40 kilometers, but it is split like this. In first time they are travelling from 10 kilometers to 35 kilometers where a distance covered is 25, and from 35 kilometers to 40 kilometers it is taking 5 kilometers to cover. From 35 to 40 it is taking 15 minutes. Here from 10 to 35 it is taking 25. So it is taking different time frames and different distances are covered. So to find the average speed, we take total distance traveled divided by total time taken. We will solve problems based on average speed in a bit while. Example, real-time example is moving vehicle in a crowd. So vehicles are moving in the traffic. Sometimes it is moving faster when the traffic is clear, and sometimes we are moving in a slow pace. So moving vehicle, it is in a non-uniform motion. Bouncing a ball. Even during a bouncing a ball also, sometimes the ball is going high, sometimes it is moving in the low speed. So there also non-uniform motions are occurring. Let us solve few problems based on average speed. If a bus takes 6 hours to travel from Bangalore to Chennai, a distance of 300 kilometers, what is its average speed? We know average speed is distance, total distance traveled divided by total time, is it not? But here we cannot say that the bus is traveled in a uniform speed. Maybe it would have stopped somewhere because of traffic, and then again it would have started the journey. So we cannot say the speed was uniform or speed is constant. Here we calculate it as average speed. So average speed is equal to total distance traveled by total time taken. Your distance is 300 kilometer and time taken was 6 hours. So 6 ones are 6 fives are 30, 0. So 50 kilometer per hour. So the average speed taken by the bus is 50 kilometer per hour. Next problem. Abdul, while driving to school, computes the average speed for his trip to be 20 kilometers per hour. On his return trip, along the same route, there is less traffic and the average speed is 30 kilometers per hour. What is the average speed for Abdul's trip? So we have to calculate what is the average speed of Abdul's complete trip. Now we can say that distance traveled to school is equal to distance traveled to home. So the distance traveled from home to school is always equal to distance traveled from school to home, because the route is same. He is traveled in the same route. So we say that D is equal to D. Next, we will find out the time taken. Here in the problem, they have not given the time taken or the distance traveled. We are assuming that distance traveled to school is equal to distance traveled to home. So we say D is equal to D. Time is D divided by speed. This we assume to be T1, because first T1 is 20 km per hour average speed. So average speed of the trip is from home to school is 20 km per hour. So the average speed is time T1 is equal to D divided by 20, that is distance divided by speed. Next, average speed T2 we assume to be D divided by 30. So when we calculate distance, time T1, T2, we have to put in as average speed. of the complete trip. So average speed of the complete trip from starting point to the ending point, that is when he started from his home to school and from school to home, the complete trip is the average speed. So it is the total distance travelled divided by total time taken. So the total distance travelled, say first to school he travelled D. So D plus next distance travelled to home. So both the same. So D plus D divided by total time taken. So at first instance he took T1 divided by T2. Let's take first T1 plus T2. So we will put D plus D. We will substitute here. What is T1? D by 20, because some distance travelled divided by average speed is 20 km per hour. So D divided by 20. So D divided by 20 plus T2. Again T2 he took distance divided by average speed, that was 30 km, that is on his return trip. So it is D by 30. When we solve this equation, so its average speed for his complete trip will be equal to D plus D divided by D by 20 plus D by 30. Now when we calculate this, D plus D, it is 2D divided by, here it is, we have to find out the LCM because it's in fraction. So when we take LCM of 20 and 30, it is so the LCM of all these things, 2 into 2 into 5 into 3. So 2 2s are 4, 4 5s are 20, 23s are 60. So our LCM is 60. So how many times 20 will go to 60? So it will go 3 times. Here 30 will go for 60 2 times. 30 into 2 is 60, 20 into 3 is 60. So 3D plus 2D. Understood? 3 into D plus 2 into D. So it is 3D plus 2D, and we have found out LCM for 20 and 30. Okay. So 2D divided by 3D plus 5D is how much? 3D plus 2D is 5D divided by 60. So this D and D will get cancelled. 2 into, this will go here, into 60 divided by 5. Understood? So 5 ones are 5, 12s are is 60. So 12 twos are is 24 km per hour. So the average speed of his complete trip, Abdul's complete trip is 24 km per hour. Next we will solve another problem. John drove for 3 hours at a rate of 50 miles per hour and for 2 hours at 60 miles per hour. What was his average speed for the whole journey? So in the first time he drove the car 3 hours at a rate. Rate means here it is speed, and this problem is given in miles per hour. Till now we saw meters per second, speed was expressed in meters per second, kilometer per hour. But in this problem they have expressed the speed in miles per hour, and this is also one of the SI unit of speed. So John drove for 3 hours at a rate, that is at a speed of 50 miles per hour, and again for 2 hours he drove the car for 60 miles per hour. Now we have to find the total or the average speed for the complete journey or the whole journey we have to find out. So step 1, we will find out the distance because we don't know how much distance he has covered. Here they have given the speed and the timing. So we will assume this distance to be d1 and s into t, that is speed into time. So in the last time I told to find out speed, distance and time, it's a very simple formula to find out. When I want to find out distance, I can multiply speed into time. If I want to find out speed, it is distance by time. When I want to find out time, it is distance by speed. Okay children? So distance d1, it is speed. First speed is I assume to be as s1 and t1. So s1 first speed is how much? 50 miles per hour. So 50 into first time 1. So t1 is 3. So d1 is equal to 50 into 3 is 150. So next distance is d2 and time, speed is s2 into time 2. So speed is 60 into how much? 2. So it is 120 miles. ఒరే నిమిషం కరెక్ట్ అన్నా okay. So the distance d2 is equal to s2 into time 2. So speed, second speed is 60 miles per hour. So 60 into time taken is 2 hours. So it is 120 miles. So now I can calculate the total distance. Total distance is equal to d1 plus d2, which is equal to 150 plus 120. So it's 270. 150 plus 120 is 270 miles. 270 miles is the total distance D. Now we have got distance. Now let's calculate. In step 2, let's calculate the average speed. Average speed is given as total distance divided by total time. Total distance we have got as 270 miles divided by total time. Total time we know it is 3 plus 2 hours. So I will write here total time taken was 3 plus 2. Which is equal to 5 hours. So the total time is 5 hours. So I substitute the total time as 5 hours and this is in miles. 270 miles divided by 5 hours. So when I divide 270 divided by 5, let's divide 275. So 5 5s are 25 and 2 remains. I bring down the 0. So 5 4s are 20. Got it? So it is average speed is 54 miles per r is my average speed. So, John drove the car at an average speed of 54 miles per hour. Okay children, I hope you understood the concepts in today's video. The concepts learnt was what is speed, what is uniform motion, what is non-uniform motion, and what is average speed. I hope you all understood the concepts. If you have any doubts, please let us know through WhatsApp.